So we have ended with one of the most powerful lines, I think. Um, it's this fourth stanza. If those endowed with excellent faith, diligence, and devotion, like Temme, by the way, meditate on the illusion-like nature of illusion-like phenomenon, illusion-like Buddhahood will manifest. And so, in many places, they don't even really consider Buddhahood illusory. So, this is quite an advanced step, in my opinion. And it says, so listen well as I duly explain the five paths and the 10 grounds as illusion. And remember, everybody, this is Niguma speaking, this 11th century realized master. She has been known as a Buddha, as an accomplished yogini. So, verse 6 of the Stages of Illusion, and remember, Sarah Harding is translating this, 2010. The entire animate and inanimate world, and whatever appears to the five senses, is all the empty appearance of the deity's body. The deity's body is limitless illusion. And so, right there, you could correlate that directly with a verse from the Kuliya Raja, the all-creating monarch. So you have Dzogchen already appearing within the first 10 verses. Not to mention, every time she says illusion, she's referring to empty appearances. Uh, so, yeah, very nice. And it says the deities, by the way, the five senses is all the empty appearance of the deity's body. The deity's body is limitless illusion. Your mind, it's talking about your mind there as well, but it's correlating it with the tantric yidam practices. So, stanza 7 says, the wise should take into practice all the factors of enlightenment as inseparable from the illusion of the deity's body. And remember, there are 37 factors of enlightenment. Um, and she's basically plugging in Mahayana Sutra into this great realization. It says, the stages on the five paths and the 10 grounds are traversed on the strength of devotion. The sublime, vital point of the Tantra's intention is never to be separate from the Guru's manifestation. Now, remember the context here. We are in, kind of 6 yogas of Naropa, 6 yogas of Niguma context. So they have provisional trainings, and one of them is Guru Yoga. And so they really follow their gurus strongly here with devotion. Remember, in meditation online, in our approach, it's different. We arouse devotion in a different way. We use it through logic and rationale and through scientific findings, our introspective science. Um, because the guru devotion has been abused, and it's very, very risky for people to just trust some random, guru. Um, because of that, we have a different style here. We basically say, okay, introduce you to awareness, and we prove to you what self liberation looks like. Then you can have devotion to awareness. And if you feel a kinship with me or the Sangha, then that's wonderful. That's just an add on. But your main guru is your awareness. And we prove that to you to a point where you have devotion. You have no choice but to have devotion because you see, my mind is here. It's the heart essence. It's filled with wisdom and compassion. It's very, very powerful. So now you start to devote yourself to the ineffable. And through that, it's like water being poured into water. The very one devoting has always been devotion itself, has always been the guru. Remember, the Kunyagapa, which I just mentioned, the Kuliya Raja Tantra, it's called the all creating monarch. You are the sovereign monarch. So at some point, you can come into your full sovereignty, your creative powers, your superpowers, or supercognitions, as they're known here in the 37 factors of enlightenment. And so remember the five paths also. I'll show you all a chart on that next time. But the path of seeing can correlate with when you get pointed to awareness. So you all skip a little bit the path of hearing and meditation and go into the path of seeing. And by the way, if you look at Sutrayana, you will see the Eightfold Path actually formally starts there at the third of the five paths, is when the Eightfold Path starts, which I don't think is a coincidence because you get pointed to awareness. Now you can have right view. How could you have right view without awareness? You would have some contrived, some fabricated view based on your conditioned mind. And so it wouldn't really be right view, in my opinion. And most people that practice the Eightfold Path, what is their view? I really question that sometimes. What is your right view? Are you making that up? Are you trying to maintain that with effort? It's an interesting proposition. So here, stanza 9 says, thus, the extraordinary practice is to experience all the sights and sounds of phenomenon as the nature of the deity and guru. So this is embracing pure view. There are many provisions for that. So if this whole place is pure right now, your negative bias, your stories, your subscription to your culture, to your materialistic belief systems, they're not going to let you see that this is all a pure land. This is heaven on earth right now. Especially when the media keeps trying to tell you, no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not, it's bad. Look at it. Look how bad it is. Look how bad it. And your negative bias starts to say, yeah, this place sucks. But if you can begin to allow that revelation, and maybe you are practicing Kirim and Zokrim, where you're doing visualizations. Remember, in the nine yana system, first comes the path of renunciation, then the path of purification, where you're trying to purify this reality. And even though it's already pure, so there's an obvious fallacy. Then the path of transformation comes, where you're trying to transform it from bad to good. And again, there's a fallacy in that because it's always been good. It's always been Kudazampo. And then, so once you get into Ati Yoga, the ninth dhyana, this is the path of self liberation. Now, any appearance of not good self liberates within awareness when you're ready and stable. And you will begin to see when you've gone through all the things you need to go through. You begin to see, oh, this is heaven here. This is actually the Pure Land is here. And that luminosity, I mean, I'm sure it could be revealed in many ways for different yogis. If I'm going to speak scientifically, okay, for me, it was like all of a sudden everything inside my body left. And I just felt like almost like when you notice a forest fire. You know how a forest fire is so hot and white and it's just taking everything. This is how it was for me when I first started to see non referentiality and pure luminosity. It was like a pure, clear light fire that just toasted everything and left a kind of rainbow abstract. And I only share that because in the name of science, okay, and we have an intimate setting here. It's private, it's safe. Um, Typically, I wouldn't recommend talking about this kind of stuff unless you're in a safe, the four conditions are there. So anyway, it could it could seem like everything gets burnt out, all the conditioning, the appearance of conditioning, almost like your cataracts even is going away. Okay. So it says, stanza 10, shapes, colors, the five poisons, and types of accomplishing activity are the five Buddha families. Whatever appears is appearance and emptiness, creation and completion, and their unity. Wow, she is really something. That's Dzogchen right there. Everything's the five colors. When you hear the five Buddha families, or sometimes known as the five jhana families. That's a personification of the five lights of your mind. So remember the Pink Floyd cover, right? Where the white luminosity goes through and then forms five colors. Um, Here it would be it forms four colors with the fifth as the basis, clear light basis. So a little bit of a discrepancy there, but essentially the same. Uh, Typically, they will show the white light instead of the white light being the basis. But I think it's really wonderful here how Naguma is acknowledging how reality is the five lights. So we essentially have a Togyal acknowledgement in there as well.